Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Aisha Nazir. The topic of today's lecture is pipelining. What is pipelining? Why we need pipelining when CPU execute instructions? What is the advantage of using pipelining architecture as compared to the non-pipelining architecture? And finally, how pipelining architectures helps to improve the performance and speed of CPU. So let's get started. Basically, why we need pipelining? Pipelining, as the name indicates, it means a pipe from which different instructions pass through and produce output. So why we need a pipeline architecture? All the processors use pipelining architectures nowadays. Pipelining basically makes CPU speed faster and improves its performance. Pipelining is arrangement of hardware in such a way that increases performance with low cost. Purchasing a new hardware is very costly. As we have the latest and advanced technology, it will improve CPU performance. But purchasing the new hardware is a very hard task. So, to improve the performance of the CPU, existing hardwares in such a way that increase the performance but with very low cost. So pipelining is just like a pipe, as you can see that, one input and one output. But here in between there are stages that depends on each other. Pipelining saves time and improve performance. As more stages would be there, it takes more time to execute. Usually in pipelining we follow 4 to 5 stages, as RISC uses 4 stages or 5 stages pipelining architecture. RISC stands for Reduced Instruction Set Architecture. So we have discussed different advantages of pipelining, but the pipelining technique architecture is basically an arrangement of hardware elements of CPU in such a way that increase overall performance and efficiency of CPU. Performance will be improved when pipeline processor execute more than one instruction simultaneously. How it can execute more than one instruction? In usually traditional pipeline, which is known as non-pipelines, single statement execute at one time. One instruction executed, after that second statement will be start execution. That's time consuming and decreases the performance. Why? Because when the first statement will be completed, then the second instructions will be started to execute. It is not possible that in traditional pipeline architecture we executing both instructions simultaneously. So initially we have to execute the first instructions and then followed by the second instruction. While in the pipelining, multiple instructions overlap during execution. Multiple instructions are executed simultaneously. So this automatically increases the performance. But what means by overlapped? Overlapping is when one program is running at one stage of execution, as we have discussed that in overlapping architectures there are different stages, and usually there are 4 stages architectures, 5 stages architectures, or 8 stages architecture, but usually the most common is 5 stages architectures that is used by the RISC. So we were talking about the overlapping. So overlapping is when one program is running at one stage of execution. In the meantime, second program will also passing through some other stage. This is called the one instruction is overlapping the second instructions, means they both are executing at the same time simultaneously. If instruction 1 is at third stage, meanwhile the second instruction would be at second stage, and maybe this is possible that the third instructions would be in the first stage. So the multiple instructions are executing at the same time. Obviously this saves not only time but also money. So we use different stages, which is also known as segments, in execution life cycle of an instruction. For example, if program 1 is at second stage, then second program would be at first stage. In this way, multiple programs run at the same time. In RISC, we use 5 stages of pipelining in which instructions are executed simultaneously. Let's explore the pipelining architecture in RISC. So RISC pipelining architecture, as we have discussed earlier, that the pipelining is just like a pipeline that has a starting point, the input. This is basically the input point. After that, the first stage, that is instruction fetch. Okay, so usually there are multiple stages, but RISC follows the 5-stage architecture, pipeline architecture, in which the first stage is instruction fetch, while the second stage is decode. The instruction which the CPU fetches, it has to decode it into computer understandable form, the low level language, and then the third stage, that is execution. It executes the decoded instructions, and after that, the stage 4, it stores the instructions in the memory. So the fourth stage is memory, and after that, next stage is write back. After generating the results, it will write back into the memory. Right? These are all the 5 stages, and after passing the instruction from all these 5 instructions, it will produce an output. So as we have discussed earlier, that all the instructions usually pass through in all these 5 stages, but these stages are dependent to one another. The one stage output would be the second stage input. In the same way, the second stage output would be the input for the third stage. So there must be a center, there must be some mechanism between the stages that stores the output of previous stage and gives the input for the next stage. For this purpose, we use interface registers that stores the intermediate results in it. So there are multiple registers between each stage. As the stage 1 and stage 2, in between there is a register 1 that saves the output of stage 1 and gives the input for the stage 2. In the same way, there is another register, that is register 2, between the stage 2 and stage 3, which saves the output of decoding phase and gives the input to the execution phase. In the same way, there is another register, that is the third register, that saves the results of execution and gives the input to store into the memory. In the same way, the next fourth register. But these all registers are connected through clock because it is necessary, because it has to save the execution time of each instruction. So in short, RISC have 5 stages of pipelining. The first stage is instruction fetch, the second is instruction decode, third is execute, fourth is memory, and fifth one is write back. There is an interface register in between each stage. It stores intermediate results. One stage output is second stage input. So to store states output, we use registers, right? These all stages devices are connected through a clock. So how many stages an instruction has to pass during execution is known as instruction cycle. So how many stages RISC has? 5 stages. So what would be the clock cycle for the RISC architecture? Obviously, if there are 5 stages, then the clock cycle will be 5. Suppose, let's understand it with an example. Suppose the program load is 8 from instruction 1 to instruction 8. Load is equal to 8 instructions. Load means how much instructions we have to execute, right? So we have 8 instructions to execute in RISC by using the pipeline architecture. So how many stages an instruction has to pass during execution? Obviously there are 5 stages, so it has to pass all 5 stages during execution. So in how many clock cycles? Obviously in 5 clock cycles. Let's understand this example more briefly and precisely by looking in non-pipeline scenario and in pipelining architecture. So if we look in the non-pipelining architecture, so if one stage completed in one clock cycle, keep in mind that one stage is always completed in one clock cycle. This is a programmer's wish. This is a developer wish that one stage must be completed in one clock cycle. So if one stage completed in one clock cycle, then 5 stages will complete in 5 clock cycles. So if a program has 8 instructions, then CPU will take how many clock cycles? If we multiply 8 by 5, then it has 40 clock cycles. It takes 40 clock cycles time to execute 8 instructions. Usually space-time diagram, or which is also known as phase diagram, is used to represent time taken by each instructions. So let's understand it how the instructions execute in RISC architecture, in pipelining architecture with the help of phase diagram. So in short, in non-pipelining architecture, the CPU will take 40 clock cycles to execute 8 instructions. But in RISC, if we use pipelining architecture, how much time it will execute? This is the main aim of pipelining, that CPI should be, must be is equal to 1. It means that clock per instruction means each instruction executed at per clock cycle. As we have discussed, there is one input and one output and 5 stages in a RISC architecture, and here in between there are interface registers, and all the registers, because it saves the states of the instruction execution, so these are all are connected to the clock. So if load is equal to 8, means if we have to execute 8 instructions, then the instruction will pass through from the first stage in first clock cycle. Second stage it will pass in second clock cycle. Third stage it will pass in third clock cycle. Fourth stage it will pass in the fourth clock cycle, and the fifth stage, that is the last stage, will be passed in 5 clock cycles. This is the same as we have discussed in non-pipelining architecture. So where is the difference? How the pipelining architecture is better than the non-pipelining architecture, how it improves the performance of the CPU and makes the processing speed faster. Let's see the difference from the phase diagram. So in RISC pipelining architecture, if load is equal to 8, means 8 instructions from instruction number 1 to instruction number 8, we use the phase diagram. This is the phase diagram in which the vertical side shows the stages, while the horizontal side shows the time, in which the vertical side shows the stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5, as the RISC has 5 stages. In the same time, on the horizontal, it shows the time, that is first clock cycle, second and fifth clock cycle, and onward. So let's understand how the CPU execute an instruction by using the phase diagram. CPU instruction execution. So in non-pipelining architecture, if load is equal to 8 instructions from instruction 1 to instruction 8, then it will take 40 clock cycles to complete 8 instructions, to execute 8 instructions, right? But in RISC architecture, as this is the phase diagram, and you can see that in the stage 1 and in the clock cycle 1, the instruction 1 started execution and it passes through the first stage, that is fetching instruction. First we will start executing instruction 1. So instruction 1 in first clock cycle, it's in first stage, right? So it start executing. After executing, completing the first stage, it moves to second stage. The instruction 1 will move to second stage in the second clock cycle, right? But when it is moving to the second stage, then first stage is free. So we will starting to execute the second instruction. Now at the second clock cycle, the instruction 1 is in second stage, while we start the executing the instruction 2, that is in first stage. After completing the second stage by the instruction 1, it will move to stage 3. At the third clock cycle, it will move to stage 3. So when the instruction 1, it is stage 3, the instruction 2 would be in stage 2, right? Then we will start executing the next statement, the next instructions. So we will start executing the third instruction, that is instruction 3, because the stage 1 is free, because the stage 1 instruction 1 is completed the stage 1, instruction 2 is completed the stage 1. So now it's the turn of instruction 3. So we will start executing the instruction 3. Okay. After that, when the instruction 1 completed the stage 3, then it will move to stage 4 in the fourth clock cycle. So when the instruction 1 comes in fourth clock cycle in the fourth stage, then the instruction 2 will come to the stage 3. Instruction 3, which we have previously started, will move to stage 2, and then we will starting the instruction 4, because the stage 1 is empty. After that, when the instruction 1 completed the stage 4, it will move to stage 5 at the fifth clock cycle. So when it moves to stage 5, then the instruction 2 will complete its stage 4, instruction 3, it will complete its stage 3, and instruction 4, it will move to stage 2. So now at that time stage 1 is again free. So we will start executing the instruction 5. Okay, after the fifth clock cycle, instruction 1 is completed. So it will come out. The instruction is executing. So it will come out from the processor, it will produce the output. In the same time, so the first instruction is completed in 5 clock cycles. The first instruction is completed in 5 clock cycles. After that, in the next clock cycle, in the 6 clock cycles, obviously instruction 1 has moved out from the phase diagram. Then instruction 2 will come into the clock cycle 6. In the same way, instruction 3 would be in stage 4, instruction 4 would be in stage 3, instruction 5 would be in stage 2. Now the stage 1 is again empty. It's clear? So we will start executing the instruction 6th. So at the 6th clock cycle, instruction 2 has completed, so it will comes out and it replaces by the instruction 3. So in the next clock cycle, instruction 3 will comes out, and as the first stage will be empty, so we will start executing, we will start fetching the first instruction, that is instruction 7. After that, in the 7th clock cycle, instruction 3 will be out from the phase diagram. In the 8th clock cycle, instruction 4th will be out from the phase diagram, and in the same time we will start executing the instruction 8. In the next clock cycle, that is 9th clock cycle, instruction 5 will be out, and all the other instructions will move to the next stages. In clock cycle 10, instruction 6 will be comes out from the phase diagram. In clock cycle 11, instruction 7th would be comes out from the phase diagram, and in the same way in 12th clock cycle instruction 8 will be completed. So keep in mind, in Rust, in pipelining architecture, the only first instruction will take 5 clock cycles. After that, each statement will comes out in a single clock cycle, as the first instructions completed in 5 clock cycles, but after that instruction 2 completed in 6 clock cycles. It takes only 1 clock cycle because we started simultaneously at the same time. As the instruction 1 moves the next stage, we start the other instruction. At the instruction 1 moves to stage 2, we start fetching the data of instruction 2. As the instruction moves to the other stage, we start executing, fetching data of instruction 3. As the instruction 3 moves to the next stage, we start executing the instructions of instruction 4. In the same way, as the instructions moves to the next stage, we started the new instructions and follow the same sequence. So instruction 2 completed in 6 clock cycle, instruction 3 completed in 7th clock cycle, instruction 3 is completed in 7th clock cycle, instruction 4 completed in 8th clock cycle, instruction 5 completed in 9th clock cycle, instruction 6 completed in 10th clock cycle, and the same way all the 8 instructions executed in 12 clock cycles. Only first instructions taking 5 clock cycles, but after that on each clock cycle other instructions are completed and coming out. Hopefully you understand the concepts. Now let's explore the difference. So instructions were 8. Suppose the n shows the instructions. Number of stages, that was 5. We can assume it as k. So what would be the formula? The formula would be k means number of stages plus n minus 1. So the stages is 5, instructions are 8. So 8 minus 1 would be 7. So 7 plus 5 is equal to 12. It means the 8 instructions would be executed in pipelining architecture in RISC in 12 clock cycles. First instruction will be out in 5th clock cycle because number of stages are 5. Rest instructions will completed in 1 clock cycle, and after the 5 clock cycles on each next clock cycle, next instruction will be executed and completed and comes out from the CPU. So the difference is, in non-pipelining it takes 40 clock cycles to complete 8 instructions, while in pipelining it takes only 12 clock cycles to complete 8 instructions. So there is a huge difference between the 12 clock cycles and 40 clock cycles. So obviously adopting the pipelining architectures, it's not only improves the performance, but it also saves time. So this is all about the today's lecture. Let's summarize. We use the pipelining technique to make the CPU faster, to make the CPU speed, processing speed faster, and it saves time. In pipelining architecture, we use the stages mechanism, in which we have different stages and an instruction has to pass from different stages, and here is in between there are intermediate registers that saves the output of first stage and gives as input to the second stage. All the interface registers are connected with the clock that stores the time of execution of an instruction. In non-pipelining mechanism, each instruction is executed in 5 clock cycles. only one instruction executed at one time. No any other instruction can be executed while the first instruction is executing in the processor. On the other hand, pipelining helps assist to improve the performance by executing the multiple instructions at the same time that overlapped. So here we can reinforce the concept of overlapping, is that when we are talking about the phase diagrams, so if the instruction 1 is in stage 2, then the instruction 2 will be started. So this is overlapping, right? If the instruction 1 moves to stage 3, then the meanwhile instruction 2 will move to stage 2 and will start at the instruction 3. If the instruction 1 moves to stage 4, then thus instruction 2 will move to stage 3, and meanwhile instruction 3 will move to stage 2, and in the same time instruction 4 will be started. So this is the overlapping, that multiple instructions executing at the same time. This will improve the time and performance of the CPU of the processor. Pipelining provides speedy processing and saves time. Thank you very much.